Welcome to Laundry Room Chronicles. So, guess what? Today, Ashley had her 5th grade graduation. I cried the entire time. Not the entire time, but I teared up here and there because each of the 5th grade teachers, they all gave little commencement speeches and they called the kids up. They took everything and it went by fast. It went by really fast because I remember when she did preschool graduation and kindergarten graduation, and before you know it, she's going to be doing high school graduation. So I'm looking at my shirt. Oliver, he's teething, so he has those little teething biscuits, and he was eating one when we were at GameStop earlier, and he got it all over my shirt. So yeah, that's what happens. I'm about to take a shower anyways. So you guys, there's a dirty shirt. Sorry. So today, let me back up. Last week, Isai's at work and he texts me and he's like, Esposa, we found a litter of kittens in this car. You know, he details cars for a living. He has his own business and he works with a used car shop and a mechanic, and they're like the 3 best friends you ever could have. Anyways, so he's like, hey, we found a litter of kittens inside of this car that Moises was fixing. What do I do? I love kittens, man. I love cats. Like, I'm a crazy cat lady. So I'm like, well, they don't need to be inside the car. Is the car inside of the garage? Or did you guys park it outside? Well, it was outside in the sun. We live in the desert. Not a good thing at all. You don't put babies in a car in the desert. Like, wrong move. So I'm like, well, let me come up and check on them. He's like, no, they're really, really young. I don't want you checking on them. I'm like, let me come check on them. They'll be fine. I promise. Do you know who the mother is? And they're like, no, we have an idea, but none of our cats looked pregnant. They have tons of feral cats out there. So I checked on these cats. They were about, I'd say, 3 to 4 weeks old. They were really tiny. I saw Mom. She was nursing. It's like, hey, way to go, Mom. I left her some food, some like kitten food mixed with wet food, and a bowl of water. That way she doesn't have to leave the vehicle to go look for food. She could just have her food and water right then. Apparently, that lady didn't like me around her babies because she moved every single one of them, all 5 of them, that night because I was going to go back. She actually goes into the garage, so she's like semi-feral. Moises, the mechanic, that's like his cat. And they didn't know it was pregnant. So I'm like, fuck, man. Gotta get this cat fixed so she's not popping out more litters. I'm gonna have to socialize these kittens so they can find homes. So I was gonna bring them home, but then I read that if there's a feral cat with kittens, you should just leave them. But I don't think the kittens deserve to be feral cats as well. Like, whatever. So I was really bummed out because I wanted another cat like so badly, and I'm like, this would give me a great opportunity to get to know these cats' personalities, and then, you know, I could pick one, and then when they're old enough, you know, foster or adopt the rest out. So Isai was on board with that. He's like, yeah, that's a great idea. You know, find which cat you want out of this litter. So it's like, awesome. Well, I didn't get to do that, you know, unfortunately, but that's okay. So today after Ashley's graduation, she wanted Sonic. So we went to Sonic and she got everything that she wanted, and we all ate in the car like you do at Sonic. And Isai wanted to go to Lowe's, which is actually right next door to Sonic. So he went into Lowe's, and I asked him, I'm like, hey, can we go to the shelter today? Like, I just, you know, I don't necessarily want to bring a cat home today, but you never know, right? So we're looking around, and, you know, I'm seeing a bunch of like really pretty cats and not really ones that I like made that connection with, because in the shelter they have signs posted, like if you're interacting with the cat, just make sure that you sanitize your hands before moving on to the next one. So, you know, I was interacting with the cats, sanitizing my hands, interacting with another one. I liked a lot of them. A lot of them were really friendly. A lot of them were sleeping. A lot of them were really pretty and unique color patterns and everything. And we got to the last little cattery, and I walk in and there's this cat sitting like in front of its cage, and it reaches out its paw outside the cage, and so I like stroke its little paw and I'm like, oh, hello. And I'm reading its information, and they had the little check mark box that for like FIV, and I'm like, oh, you know, I think she has FIV. We have a cat at home, you know, we have little Sanchito, and you know, if she has FIV, I don't want to bring her home, right? Because you're not supposed to. I've never had a cat with FIV, so I don't know. I'm not an expert in it, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can't have multiple cats. It's only supposed to be like a one cat home. So there's this guy, and he walks up and he works there, and he's like, hey, can I help you guys? And the whole time this cat is like rubbing up against the cage, and I'm like petting her little head. Well, he lets her out of the cage, and I hold her, and she's like purring, and so like she's beautiful, you guys. So needless to say, I made this face. I went, and Isai said, oh no, esposa, you know, I thought you were waiting for the right time. And I said, I wasn't waiting for the right time, I was waiting for the right cat. So it took like just a tiny little bit of convincing. And he looked at Eliana and he said, Eliana, do you think mom should get another cat? And she goes, yeah. So Isai said, okay, let's go get her then. So he filled out all the adoption paperwork, and he got me a cat. So she's getting fixed tonight and getting all of her shots tonight. And then tomorrow, I get to go get her. So I'm not certain what her name is. I know what the adoption or the shelter named her. However, I haven't chosen a name for her yet. So I have a few ideas, just not certain what would be good. So I got a cat. I'm so excited because this cat's gonna do everything with me. Like, I'm gonna take it on my little road trips and just everything. So after we went to the shelter, we go to the dispensary, right? We are a recreational state. I do not partake, but my partner does. So we go to the dispensary, right? He has to wait in line for like 5 minutes, and then he gets in, and he comes back out like 10 minutes later. He's so happy, you know. He's like, oh, I got this and this and this. And I'm like, cool, I hope you like it. So one of the brands, I guess, of the strains he got is from Cheech and Chong. And apparently Cheech and Chong is here in Albuquerque. Now, I do not partake in recreational activities. However, I would love to meet Cheech and Chong, and I'd probably have them smoke me out. Like, if you had the opportunity to do it, why wouldn't you? Just like Snoop. If you had the opportunity to smoke with Snoop, would you pass that opportunity up? I wouldn't. That is like a once in a lifetime experience. So we were gonna go meet them because they were doing meet and greets at so the dispensary we went to, it's like one of many locations in Albuquerque. So we went to that one, and they're like, hey, over at the other location, Cheech and Chong's over there. And then the next day they were going to be going out to a city like 20 minutes out from us. So we were gonna go, but it was super hot out, and the baby was sweating. His little head was sweating, and the air in the car was on full blast, and it was cool in the car, but he was still sweating. So we didn't go. and that's okay. But that's my day so far. So, just catching you up on my day before I get into the realness of this video, okay? So, something, a little side hustle that I have been doing for 2 weeks now is I've been selling things on Mercari. So, in my first 12 hours, I made 2 sales, and I had a lot of people interested in one item that I had already sold. But the lady that I sold it to, she's actually from Colorado, and she was super nice and super helpful, and she understood that I was a new seller and I didn't understand a lot of features, and she kind of walked me through it like after making the purchase, which I thought was really, really kind of her. And yeah, she messaged me today to say thank you, that she received the item and everything came, you know, as described. So I'm like, yay! So that's something I've been doing. So the reason I started Mercari is because we want to minimalize. We want to become minimalists. And then we want to buy an RV. And we want to travel all of North America. So that is what we're doing. So by getting rid of things that I don't need, I just take a picture, put it up on the Mercari app, type, little description, and guess what? It's posted, and people all over, if they're looking for an item like yours, they can purchase yours. You ship it out, they pay for shipping, all you gotta do is take it to the post office. That's it. Super easy. So the money that I'm earning from Mercari is going to be put in our travel fund. So I'm not even gonna cash out on it. I'm just going to keep letting it grow and grow and grow and grow and see where it gets us. So, I do know there's a few other apps like that. There's Mercari. Poshmark, I used to be really familiar with. Maybe 4 years ago, I used Poshmark quite a bit. And there's one that's local. So for like local pickup, I'm not sure if it ships out, but it's called OfferUp. I don't do OfferUp. I've never had success with it. But Isai does. So yeah, those are a few options if you want to try reselling as form of a side hustle. So I know this was kind of a long-winded video, but I had a really exciting day, and I don't get out because, I mean, who the fuck has time, right? But yeah. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'm going to go relax in a hot bath and change clothes and take my makeup off and go to bed. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.